it all came down to, yeah, how quick the pit stop was, but I think ultimately what the difference was is who put what fuel in those race cars.
Yes, and I think that's one of the things. We've got the background here. Blaney, coming to the white flag. Cindric in the view there, giving a little pressure, but runs out of fuel, taking the white flag. I think when we look at this, I don't think it's lap dependent. I know Blaney came a lap before Cindric did. We looked at it. It was, 70-some laps you could run on fuel. They
70,
stopped with
75, yeah.
64 or 5 to go. I think it has to do with how much fuel you put in the car and how quick these pit stops are. When you look at it, let's dive a little deeper into this. Well, here's Blaney coming in for his last stop, and we've got a timer up here in the right-hand corner of how long the gas can's plugged in. This will give this back. If you look at it, 3.4 gas man comes back. Pretty quick stop. I think it was a 10-1.
10-1, yeah.
And 7.2 seconds of fuel flow time there. We look at these gas cans, it's just under 2 gallons a second that they can dump. If that's 2 cans, that's 14 gallons of fuel. But that wasn't. If we go back and watch this from a different angle, that was 1 can that they used here.
And it appears to me, Todd, that Jonathan Hassler, he has the intent of only putting 1 can in, because you see the other cans back here, they're pretty much just on the stand back there. There's no intent. I'm going to dump the 1 can, and that's all I'm doing right there.
So although we had time to dump 14 gallons of fuel, these gas cans only hold 12 gallons. So he got all of that 12 gallons in, but that's all they got in coming forward here. And Jonathan was aggressive call here. Remember, Ryan Blaney was behind Austin Cindric and wanted to get in front of him. They pitted a lap shorter.
And they accomplished that.
And they had a shorter stop by doing it this way. Brian Wilson brings the 2 car to pit road in a similar situation, little slower stop, I think an 11.8. We've got the same counter going there, kind of put it together from a couple different angles here, but you see a second can comes in, plugs in. When we look at this one as it comes out of here, 9.6 seconds is what we showed there. That's close to 18 gallons of fuel that they can dump. And when we go from that same angle, the pro trailer side of this, you see that second can right up here. That can's no longer in the rack up there.
Right. They have full intent of dumping part of that second can in this 2 car. And that's the call the crew chief makes. Go with 1 can or get me some of that second can in there.
You see that exchange right there that happened behind the wall. There's a second can coming, and we come forward. That gets them the opportunity to dump the fuel out of both cans. I think they probably got 8 gallons out of the first can, probably got close to 10 out of the second. They've got well more than 12 gallons in this car.
Yeah, and again, they gave up about a 2 3/4 on this pit stop. Now, of course, if Blaney does not run out of fuel, they're going to lose the race right here. But all Blaney needed was about 1/4 gallon more fuel, just a little over 1 lap.
And I really feel like Monday morning, we can always make the best calls, right? If there's any caution that happens behind this, Hassler looks like he's in a great position because that'll buy you some more fuel mileage. But if you look at it, if they'd gone to 2 cans, with the flow time they had plugged in and what they could have had plugged in, they still could have gotten that extra gallon of fuel that would have got them to the end.